somebody. I'm looking at this lady speak who had dealings with Umar Johnson, and she was talking about how he's always talking about keep the dollars in the black community, but when she had a settlement with him, he had only white lawyers, and so she's talking about while he's telling black people, especially telling black women, he's always getting on black women about giving their money to the Koreans, okay, with the fake hair and the nails or whatever, always. But his money goes to white people when it comes to lawyers and construction workers or whatever. He hired white, okay. But here's what I'm going to say, because I'm not about to judge anybody for that. Now, me, I don't care. And other black people that's in the conference community might want to call him a hypocrite. And I said, he's not a hypocrite. Maybe he's an agent. Maybe he knows exactly what he's doing. Maybe he's a plant. A lot of these people, even in the 60s, who were black leaders, they were plants. They were agents. They never had any intentions of the black community rising. They were plants. What makes them think that Umar is not the same thing? Okay? Maybe he's not a hypocrite. He's a plant. Possibly. I don't know, right? Because I'm not going to dig deeper to try to figure out if he's a plant. Because I was never really, Umar, even when, back in his day when he was real popular, before he started to come down, I just never could get in with his energy. I couldn't get into him, okay? And I never really cared about the whole pro-black talk. And the reason why is because there's too much of a focus on struggle. So I never cared about pro-black because there's too much focus on victimhood and struggle, okay? When you really, really want to push a community forward, it's not a whole bunch of talking about what somebody else is doing to you. It's more building. Now, I realize in the United States of America, that's going to be hard to do because, I mean, look at the Black Wall Street, look at Tulsa, Oklahoma, look at what happened when black people do build. There's jealousy that comes with that, okay? And then there's some kind of accusation, and then all of a sudden the towns get burned down, and then they offer you help after they done burned your town down. So I get all of that. But the point I'm making, there needs to be some other strategy, something going on. There's no growth even within the people. Even spiritually, even if it could be spiritually, it don't have to be a bunch of stores and stuff. Just spiritually, there's no growth. There's no evolvement with black people, okay? So that's why I could not never get into this pro-black stuff because there's no growth, okay? Okay, but what was I going to say? And a black messiah. A black messiah. That's that stuff we. But let me get to the point though. I don't want to get into that. Uh, so I said people want to call him a hypocrite for hiring white, but I just say maybe he's a plant. Maybe he's not a hypocrite. He's not being a hypocrite. He's a plant. He never had any intentions on helping black people, helping black boys or whatever. He just might be a plant. Okay? But also, you know, I hear some black people talk about how he looks down on black people and how he just, well, he should. Because I'm going to tell you something. And this is just with any situation. This is what I'm learning now. And I'm to the point where I say no. And I don't care if a person don't like it. If it's not something in my best interest, I'm not going to do it to make somebody else happy. Because oftentimes I don't get anything out of it. See, it's okay to do something you might not want to do. If that person, you already know that person has already done a lot for you. So you might not feel like doing something, but you do it because that person is always going out of their way for you. Or just, you know, you could probably see a bigger picture. A lot of times we do what we don't want to do because it might be a bigger picture and we can't go by how we feel, right? If you go by how you feel, you ain't going to have nothing. But sometimes people will have you go against your own best judgment. People will have you go against your first mind, right? And have you do something that is not going to benefit you at all. And that's what I'm talking about. Constantly people have put themselves in a position, especially black people, where nothing benefits them. They have seen for I don't know how many years, it's been over 10 years, that Umar Johnson is not going to come through with whatever he promised. He's not going to come through with it. The black people, not all of them, there's a whole lot that already see through him, but black people still want to mess with him. Black people will still want to talk about, well, what school do you have? You don't know what goes into having a school. And make all kind of excuses for him. But a lot of the ones that are making excuses for him, I believe that Umar Johnson could be part of an organization. And the reason why I'm going to say this, because I remember him, I don't know when this was, but he was talking about some gathering. This was like over a year ago. Some gathering that he was going to have, and it was going to be in a Masonic lodge. I don't know where it was going to be, but it was going to be in the Grand Lodge or the Masonic Lodge or something like that. I don't know if you can hold meetings in those lodges without you being some kind of a member. So I feel like Umar Johnson is part of some kind of an organization, and he keeps getting on the Breakfast Club and invited to all these places, and these people, these other guys who's probably part of that same organization, come up with all these excuses, knowing they don't believe a word that he say. So I don't believe Charlemagne believes a word that Umar says, but I believe they're all part of the same organization, and they're going to go along with it to continue to keep black people in a low consciousness, and that's what I don't really do. I don't care for being a part of the black community, because they just insist on staying in a low consciousness. Why are you still dealing with Umar Johnson? And this is why he respects white people. I don't blame him for respecting white people. I don't even blame him for thinking that white people are better than black people, because right now white people are better than black people. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. I don't mean as a soul. Okay? I don't mean as a spirit, as a soul. I don't mean it like that. I'm not saying the way the Most High would see white people. I don't mean like that, right? I mean, in this particular world right now, the way we see it, and black people continue to just not have any standards when it comes to people, when it comes to leaders. They don't care. They will know they're being scammed. They can be told 100 million times they're being scammed, and they will still jump into the same doggone ditch, and they don't care. And they can look at somebody, and not all black people, I'm talking about as maybe a collective, but not all of them. They can be told over and over and over again. I have watched YouTubers expose these scam artists over and over and over again. And you get black people who get in the comment section that want to defend these scam artists. It's like they insist on stay losers. They insist on staying losers. And I don't blame him if he felt like white people are better. A lot of people feel like white people are better than black people. But it's not because of, like I said, see, black people want to be all kind of righteous. I don't care for the righteous mentality. Ain't nothing righteous but the what you call it? The incorruptible one. Okay? Other than that, there is no other righteous. Okay? There's no other righteous. Okay? You a human being, you ain't righteous. You still in your flesh. If you're not righteous, okay? So I don't get into the righteous stuff, because in order to be righteous, you really have to be perfect, okay? So I don't get into that. But what I'm saying is, to a lot of people, white people do look better than black people, because white people would not allow somebody to continue to take them down like that. Black people would see a scam, just see every receipt that a person is a scam. I don't know how many years Umar has been exposed, but even other people have been exposed to being a scam artist. And black people will see receipt after receipt, proof after proof, and they will still find ways to hop on the person who is spreading the message, trying to tell the truth about a scam artist, to defend somebody who means them no good, to defend a plant. Because a lot of these scam artists in the black community and this conscious community, a lot of them are plants. They mean black people no good, but black people keep supporting them. If Polite was to get out of prison right now, if he's in there, because I don't believe the stuff, if he's in there, right? If Polite was to get out of prison right now, the black community will welcome him with open arms, regardless of whatever he was accused of. This is the stuff I'm talking about. This is why I don't blame Umar for respecting white people better than he respect black people, because you can't pull that on a, not on a collective of white people. See, you might be able to get over on a white person over and over and over again, like a individual person, yeah. But on a collective, they are too, as far as their economy goes, they are too, what's the word I'm looking for? They build. White people are constantly building. They're building their community. So they don't have time for people who just want to pull them down as a community, because they're very competitive. Like you see other countries that seem like they competing with United States, even though they talk about United States, they build a country to look like United States of America. Okay, well, I want to be honest with you. You can say the ancestors, the black ancestors built, but what we see right now is coming mostly from white America, the United States of America. I'm sorry, because in most of the black areas we look at around the world, they don't look like United States of America. So we can see that this was from the white man. Okay, I'm just gonna say it, because if you want to say the black person built it, yeah, because yeah, under somebody else's rulership, somebody else telling them what to do. Okay, but it's a lot of Mexicans who migrated and did that too. I'm just saying, you say, well, your ancestors built this country. Well, they built this country according to somebody else's rule over them, not from their own ideas. Now, you can say that black people had inventions and stuff like that, but like I said, the way that America looks, United States of America, that is not how black people, because when you look around the world how black people live, for the most part, that is not their style. Black people are more into nature. When you look at Jamaica, and we look at other black parts, other areas that's populated by black people, they are more into nature. So even the indigenous black people that were in the United States of America, I would imagine they were more into nature than having some tall buildings that block the sun. That's not black people doing that, because black people honor the trees too much. So that's what I'm saying about that. So when you have the United States look the way it looked, and you say black people built it, it's under the white man's rule, because black people are more close to, more about nature. They wouldn't have it looking like this. Okay? I'm just saying that you can't blame somebody for looking down on you if you continue to know. When you get to a point that you realize you're being bamboozled, but you don't care, you put up with it anyway, at that point, you cannot blame them for looking down on you, because why don't you walk away? And this is not a judgment, I'm going to tell it what it is. The same way they're narcissists, the same way their ego is in a way, you're a narcissist too. Why? Because you're so self-centered that, because let me tell you why you're just as narcissist as the person, as a Umar Johnson. Because what keeps you from leaving something that does not benefit you? Because it certainly ain't the Most High that's making you stay there. So what else is keeping you around someone who is abusive? And it's not a judgment, because a lot of us have done it. So it's not a judgment, but I'm just saying, call it like it is. You're just as much as a narcissist as the person who is doing the abusing. Because you are in the way. The way they are all into their ego, you're all into your ego. Either way it goes, the Most High is not the center. And when the Most High is not the center, you're self-centered. Okay? You're self-centered. Now, some people can say there's nothing wrong with that, but then when you want to call somebody a narcissist, everybody's a narcissist. Some people it just shows more than others. Some people it's just more obvious than others. Like some people are just more toxic than others. Like they're so toxic that it's just so easy to see that they're narcissists. But everybody's a narcissist, unless the Most High is your center. Whatever you consider the Most High to be, because right now, this is an ego-driven world. Right? This world is driven by ego. So if you feel like the person that you see in the mirror, that you see on your driver's license, you think that's really you, and that's the person you center in your world, because you think that's really you, then that's self-centered. You're a narcissist. because we're actually you put your ego first. You really putting your ego first. That person is not real. That person's not real. That person's an ego. Okay. So anyway, but I just want to talk about that. But that's in any situation when you continue to allow somebody to mistreat you, and you know they're mistreating you, and you keep putting up with them, and you know that they're not treating you right. They don't. You know they're not compensating you fairly. And you continue to deal with them, they're not going to have respect for you, and somebody else is going to come along that's going to do way less than you, and they're going to compensate them better. They're going to treat them better, okay? And you be like, what? This person did less than me? Yeah, because they have no respect for you. Same way Umar Johnson don't respect the black community because the black community don't want to have standards. So why respect a group of people that don't have standards? And I'm talking about as a collective. I'm not talking about an individual person. Why respect the collective of people that don't refuse to have they refuse to have standards when it comes to a leader? And why do you need a leader? Is there a leader in the white community? Is there a leader in the Hispanic? I mean, I know you have people in politics like mayors and the president, but I'm talking about like leaders, like Umar Johnson do all these speeches, leaders. Like I don't really know if any other community you have leaders like that, but you need all these leaders in the black community, and they're only leading you down a doggone a black hole. And black people will be shown over and over again that they're being led down a black hole, and they won't care and wonder why they're being so disrespected. You should be disrespected, and I don't blame them for thinking that white people are better. Like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What the heck? Now, I'm not saying that the Most High is looking at white people as better, but at the same time, the Most High is not looking at black people as better either. Okay? Because at least they have some kind of standards. All right? But anyway, that's all I got to say. I just feel like talking about that really quickly. All right, and I'll talk later.